All right, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet. My name is Judson Powell, and I ask that you subscribe, that you hit the like button, that you hit the notification button. Just go ahead and hit all the buttons for me. All right, now, I guess I'm gonna, I don't know, I had this like on my mind, and I kind of gotta blame my wife. I'm gonna blame her. But anyway, um, we were talking this morning, like when I first got up, we were talking, and so she was like, well, you wouldn't be as well studied if you never met me and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, because as you go through studying stuff, I've studied like a lot of different religions and everything, and that's basically how I came to the point that that religion is basically, it's like all of it is BS, and I know, don't get mad, just it is what it is, everybody has their, like their religious dogma and all this kind of stuff. But then I reminded her, I was like, okay, so let's talk about like the origins of everything. And see, that's how come I don't like getting into things, because once you know the origins of like all religion, then it's like, okay, and you can look at certain religions and you can see where they took stuff from if you know the origin. But if you don't know the origin, see, most people like are arguing from a point of ignorance, or they use like the same scriptures or the same, whether, no matter what it is. And then, but if you know the origin of it, like where it came from, then there's like, what are we arguing about? Okay, because when you plagiarize something, if I just take something and I put different names and it's like the same story, then I kind of, I go, like what's going on, because there's no difference. So anyway, so I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I said the problem, and I'm gonna attack the Bible, of course. And I said the problem with people who like quote the Bible and the whole thing with the Bible is that they don't know the origins, and they don't know who wrote it, and they don't know where it came from, and they're just like sitting up there like, and the other thing is, and it's not, and then they personify it. That's the other thing. They personify it. So all of the characters in the Bible basically never existed, and the ones that did exist, they're just plagiarized. All right, they're plagiarized from other people in history, but not who you think they are. And so, and the other thing is, there's a lot of contradictions. Okay, a lot of contradictions. So I was looking at this thing about Madagascar, and the whole thing about they came up with a cure, like an elixir for COVID-19. And it appears that it works. So I'm like, okay, but the rest of the world is like, nah, you can't do it. And so I just was like, well, the whole thing is, that's just white supremacy. That's what it is. And it's trying to steal money. Okay, because they want you to take their vaccines and their medicines and their ventilators and all that kind of stuff. And that's how come I've been preaching this thing about, hey, look, the whole problem is the protocol. The whole problem is the treatment protocol. It ain't the virus. You can kill this virus real easily. And I keep saying that. The problem is the treatment protocol. When you get into the Caucasian medical industrial complex and pharmaceutical industrial complex, they want you to use their cures. And the reason why, or their medicines or whatever, and I can't even really say cures, but the reason why is because they want your money. So then we, so we were talking about that. So then it gets down, and I say, you know what? Okay, even in the Bible, and you got to admit this is right. Okay, you don't have to, but if you don't admit it's right, then I don't know, you're kind of delusional. But there's a story in the scriptures, right, about the woman with the issue of blood. right? And the woman with the issue of blood, she spent what? All of her money trying to find a cure. She spent all of her. She went to all the doctors. It talks about it in the story, right? It says she goes to all the doctors and everything. She spent her whole entire living, everything she made over her lifetime, trying to find a cure to her issue of blood. And then what happened? She goes and she touches Jesus, right? Christ, the Christ. She touches the Christ, which is what? Enlightenment. It's not, it doesn't say anything. It's not, and so then I'm trying to explain. It's like, look, enlightenment is knowledge. Is I know, I see, I know. Those are the things that the chakras are telling you. So when your third eye is open, right? When your third eye is open and you see and you know stuff, and you become enlightened, it has nothing to do with your degrees. You can have every medical degree in the world. You can have all, we're looking right now at idiots. Literally, we got people, we're taking direction from somebody who has no clue. We take direction from, we take direction from the United States government, from these doctors, from the World Health Organization, from the Centers for Disease Control, for all that. But they have their own personal agendas. And even though they're doctors, we're going to spend all of our money trying to find the cure, the vaccine, the magical thing. And then somebody in Madagascar mixed some stuff up together and was like, hey, and it took it and it worked. And somebody else said and say, well, if we heated it up in the lab and it died, let's just heat it up. The cold arrest protocol. And then there are other people that were said the couple, and the dude is making more videos. So y'all need to, they got coronavirus, were almost dead and survived. And he said, no ventilator, no nothing. All right. And what did he do? He did breathing exercises. They said his lung capacity was diminished. So what did he do? He increased his lung capacity. Simple. Knowledge, wisdom. He said, well, if my lung capacity is decreasing every day, then why don't I do some exercises to increase my lung capacity? Japanese doctors, not Caucasian doctors. And I'm not trying to, and once again, I'm not trying to make this racial, but they don't want us to use the stuff that will cure us and that will heal us and that will make us well. It's not that complicated. Book of Revelations. Everybody talk about the book. Oh, the book of Revelation come true. Well, if you want the book of Revelations to come true, then go to where it says that there's plants planted on either side of the river. There's a river flowing through the garden, and on each side of that river, there are plants and herbs and everything. What? For the healing. For healing. Nah. See, and I guess that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's like, it's not always the smartest, Once again, let's go to some of your scriptures. The race is not always given to the swift or to the wisest or to any. It's given to what? Those who endure to the end and get the what? The knowledge and the wisdom. I'm trying to enlighten y'all. And it's difficult. And somebody posted about like when your third eye is open, and it's like you're going through one of my friends posted about how it's like when your third eye is open, it's like it's hell. It really is. Not literally hell, but it's like because you see stuff and you know stuff, and it's like, but everybody else around you is walking around and they're blind. Stop being blind. These people want your money and they want you dead. That woman with the issue of blood, she was dying. She was on her way out, and then she got enlightened. That's what the story is about. It ain't got nothing to do with no man named Jesus. It's about the Christ chakra, the crown chakra. This outside. Once she got to a certain point, she ain't had nothing to lose. So she got enlightened. All these other experts and all these other people that have all of this supposed knowledge, but it wasn't the knowledge of who? The Most High. It wasn't the knowledge of the Most High. It was knowledge that they had so that they could function and make money off of you. Whoa. So that they can make money off of you. And that's all it's about. All of this COVID-19, the whole thing, all of the whole fear, is nothing but creating, the fear mongers. They're just like hate mongers or horror mongers or anything like that. Because what does it do? It robs you of your freedom. It robs you of your higher vibration. Just like if you stay in the house, just like all this stuff that they're telling you to do, wear a mask, stay in the house, wash your hands. I mean, wash your hands, okay. But half of the stuff that they're telling you to do is going to kill you if you keep on breathing in. Look, if you breathe in CO2 for long periods of time, you will get sick. And they even took that. Look, they took those posts. I posted it, but they removed those posts or put fact checks on them and all this kind of stuff because they want to make money off of you. You don't think Mark Zuckerberg and all of them that run Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everything else, you don't think they in on this? Oh, we gonna pull this off because our experts said that this isn't true. But if you just have some common sense, you don't even gotta be wise. Common sense says that if you keep on breathing out something that, you wouldn't eat your own boo-boo, would you? Well, CO2 is waste. That's why you breathe it out. If it was good for you, you breathe oxygen. You do not breathe CO2. It's common sense, y'all. And if you breathe it for long periods of time, just like the guy, the white guy said, he was like, look, as I started breathing in more CO2, he said, I got sicker. He talked about, and even he's like, he felt like the air conditioning was contaminated in his room. I'm just telling y'all, use your wisdom, use wisdom. And these people trying to get you onto, and then, and now it's coming out even with Cuomo in New York. Now they mad at him. I mean, I think he did a pretty good job. I'm not really mad at him, but he started putting people in nursing homes, and it was like, we know that elevated age was a pre-existing condition. So if I put people with the virus in a nursing home next to old people and people with pre-existing conditions, what's going to happen to them? They're going to die. And we know that even, like I said, the lieutenant governor of Texas, what did he say? One of his statements was, we're willing to sacrifice our old people. And the same thing they did in Italy. When all those people were dying, we're willing to, if you're over 80, we're not even going to treat you. We're just going to let you die. And it didn't have to. Because all they had to do was put some heat on it. Take the right vitamins, the right herbs, stuff that exists in the earth. Little turmeric, little garlic, little vitamin C, little zinc, some vitamin D from the sun. Not stay in a room in the dark, cooped up, breathing CO2. I'm just saying. I'm not. But so at some point you gotta seek. Even after the so-called experts, they not curing nobody. Our death rate is going up, even in quarantine. If people are running around talking about the quarantine ain't working. More people died since we went in quarantine than were dying when we weren't in quarantine. Fastest 15 minutes is Oh, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons for me. I love y'all. Use your common sense. Be a free thinker. All right. I love you.